Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And don't forget, while you're here, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. You don't want to miss a thing. Okay, so let me ask you, have you ever thought about becoming a franchisee? Have you ever wanted to own your own McDonald's or shoe store or any other business out there? What does it take to be a franchiser? Where do you go? Where do you start? And how much does it cost? Y'all, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's going to tell us or give us a little insight on all that tea. Y'all, please say hello to Colleen Biggs. Hey, Colleen.
Hey, Ricky. Woo, this is going to be a fun day.
Well, it's definitely going to be informative. And if it's not fun, girl, we ain't doing it. Okay. So, Colleen, before we get started, real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
Well, I'm located in Arizona. I've lived here since 1976, and I was in the franchising industry for almost 20 years, became an entrepreneur, have launched now 4 of our own businesses and are franchising one of those businesses. My husband and I have 7 kids here in Arizona. All of them are married except for the baby engineer who's 28. He's the baby. And we have 13 grandkids.
Wow.
That's my
Okay.
life.
Girl, you said 7 kids, 13 grandkids, and franchising all in the same sentence. I don't even know how that happens, but we're going to find out.
I'll tell you what, being an entrepreneur is so amazing. When I was back in, and that's what franchising allows you to do, right? Be your own boss. When I was back in corporate America, before I retired from corporate America, I was working like 60 hours, Ricky. It was really ridiculous. And today, with all the businesses that we owned, I don't work more than 35 hours a week. So
isn't that funny how that works out? Because same thing, when I was in corporate, I was working, contracted to work 60 hours a week. And then the second that you leave and you're on your own, you're doing your own thing, you do initially work a little longer, but then one day, you wake up and you're like, wait, I don't have any appointments on purpose. It is a dream, y'all. Trust me when I tell you. So, Colleen, talking about franchising, first of all, tell us what franchising is and what franchising is not.
Yes, franchising is you purchasing a model, a proven brand that has already been up in existence, tested, all of those things that we don't think about that we need to do when you start a brand new business. And that's why I love the franchising model. So franchising is buying a brand. So you're buying a license to be able to sell, duplicate, have that as your company. Think of something like Prime IV. Think of something like you said, McDonald's. I would never own one of those. So maybe we should go to because it's the worst food on earth. Maybe we should go to like Chick-fil-A. That's healthier food for you. Coming from being a personal trainer and, a health nut myself, like I just would never even endorse that anyone should ever eat there. Because it's not good food. Anyway. There's a lot of Dutch Bros. See, Starbucks is not. Starbucks is corporate owned stores. So those are not franchise. But a Dutch Bros is a franchise, which means each one of those are individually owned. So we'll use that as an example to coffee shop. Every single Chick-fil-A or Dutch Bros that you go into, do you feel that you get the same service every time you go in?
Yeah, they look the same. Yeah.
They look the same. Their employees talk to you the same. I was impressed with Dutch Bros, and why I love Dutch Bros because the immediate thing I noticed about them was their customer service. Every other coffee house I'd been to, they take your order, they move you aside to wait for your order, they take the next order, they move you aside, they take the next order. At Dutch Bros, I ordered my order, and then she sat there and looked at me and said, "So what are you doing today?" And I was like,
Who, me?
Don't you want me to move so you can get the order behind me? And she stayed with me until she
Wow.
handed me my coffee, talking to me, engaging with me. I said I
Mm-hmm.
was going to get my hair done. Oh, no, wait, what color are you getting? Are you doing something different? I mean, she
Right.
was very engaged with me.
Right. Right.
Um, Even asked me to come back after my hair was done so I could
So I
show her
could
what it
see
looked
it.
like. It
I
was
would go
really
back.
it was very adorable in the
Yeah.
way that you just said I would go back.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a good customer service experience and a person experiences that you actually give a crap about them, and they're
Right.
not
I
just
love
a
that.
number, or they're not just a coffee order, or they're not just, but they're a name and they're a person. It's why Starbucks puts your name on a
Sure.
cup. It's engaging for
Mm-hmm.
customer service, but they do push you aside and get to the next person.
Yeah. Skip ahead.
So what
Mm-hmm.
a franchise does, as you know, going back to the beginning of what you said, is
Mm-hmm.
they train under the same customer service example as that on every
Wow.
store. So
Mm-hmm.
when you buy a brand, a license like that to be
Mm-hmm.
a franchisee, you are trained on everything from sales to marketing to customer service to
Wow.
managing a team to how to sell that brand, how to deliver on that brand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything. So you're given everything. You don't have to think about who would be my ideal customer. They're already
Right.
going to tell you who are your ideal customers. You're not
Wow.
going to think of what would this logo look like? Nope, you use their logo.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of autonomy, by the way, also in franchising. I think that a lot of people don't want to get into franchising.
Sure.
So we'll say what it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Franchising is not where you go buy and purchase a license and then turn it into whatever you want. A
Ah.
good example would be, I remember in the early stages, since you brought up McDonald's, for anyone
Mm-hmm.
who's watched that documentary,
Mm-hmm.
in the early stages, some McDonald's would start selling like fried chicken
Right.
in the South. That was their
Mm-hmm.
thing. They started
Mm-hmm.
selling fried chicken.
Yeah.
And some of them would start selling certain things on Sunday. And they were like, you
Mm-hmm.
can't sell these items. They're not
Wow.
on our menu. And they're like, but
Mm-hmm.
we want to sell them. And it's something that people here want. And
Right.
so that's why we're selling it. And they're like, but you can't. That's
It's
not
not the
part of our
contract.
brand. It's
That, and
not
that's
part
the
of our,
thing.
I think the bigger way of looking at it instead of the contract is,
Mm-hmm.
are you tainting the brand? Do you change
Mm-hmm.
the customer experience? Now, there are so many things about franchising that I love, meaning
Mm-hmm.
when Chick-fil-A first started, they did not have milkshakes. Okay. And
Oh, that's
so
true. I kind of remember that.
they didn't.
Yeah.
And the reason why they didn't was because it was about delivering this hot, fresh meal
Mm-hmm.
in a certain amount of time.
Right.
You could not deliver the hot, fresh meal and the milkshake in a
In
certain
that
amount of
time.
time.
Huh.
It took a franchisee
Mm-hmm.
challenging the franchisor. I love these the most because
Okay.
you think the franchisor doesn't know everything, and the franchisor is
Mm.
the one that owns the
That
brand,
owns it.
right? They
Okay.
started it, they came
Mm-hmm.
up with it, they masterminded it. It was their baby. They
Mm-hmm.
bloomed it, right? They birthed it, and then they tested it, and then now they're duplicating it. And you're one of the
Right.
franchisees who's been duplicating that brand across the world for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Wow.
come up with this idea like, we can do this shake and people
Mm-hmm.
want this shake and we can do it in that amount of time. If I can get with you and prove to you we can do it, would you be open
Okay.
to having this on the menu? And the franchisor said yes.
Sure.
So
Let's
they
check it
proved it
out.
could be done, how it could be done using natural ingredients. And
Mm-hmm.
voila, it's one of
Now
the
you have,
highest
it
sold
really
items
is.
now on the menu at Chick-fil-A.
You
So
gotta love
that
that.
just goes to show that even though if it's not approved today, I look at
Mm-hmm.
it like homeowners associations that maybe
Ah.
are newer, 10 years, they just got,
Mm-hmm.
the CCNRs are written, but there's new technology like Eve's
All the
lighting that
time.
no one ever thought about. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything in our CCR about that. So
Sure.
now the CCNR needs to be changed, and
Mm-hmm.
we need to figure out how do we want to approach having this technology today. So
Yeah.
I think it's important for franchisees out there to remember it's not that you can't do it. I always
Mm-hmm.
say the recipe is the recipe. So think of it
Sure.
like this. When you make
Like
bread, if you
KFC.
screw up, yeah, It's the recipe, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you're making a loaf of bread and you
Mm-hmm.
add too much sugar or too much yeast or not enough
Right.
water or too much flour, it won't turn out like the loaf of bread. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to follow the basic recipe. To me, that's franchising.
Yeah,
Then
that's
I
huge.
say, who are you and what is your personality? That's where you
Mm-hmm.
get to add your flair. And maybe you're an amazing leader and you
Mm-hmm.
have the best loyal team. And even though they have a good staffing and onboarding process for you to follow, you've
Right.
been an amazing leader for years and your process is even better. So you enhance it and you
Yeah.
make it better.
Okay.
And you're able to keep your employees twice as long than any
Sure. Than
franchise.
anybody
So
else.
if that franchisor was smart, Ricky, they
Mm-hmm.
would come back to you and say, how are you doing that?
Exactly. Oh,
And
I
then
love
they would
that.
learn from you.
That is amazing. There's
Yeah.
so much in that already. But Colleen, you said something that really struck me. You said, based on, your personality is this and that and the other. Is every franchise for every franchise
No,
per? I
no,
and that's what I thought of because like you
no.
said, okay, so McDonald's is not for you. I ain't judging,
No,
I'm just saying.
I could
But
never endorse
mhm,
food that I would never feed my family or my
exactly.
grandkids. I just couldn't stand for a brand like
Mhm,
that. But here's the difference. Somebody might want to buy a franchise and
mhm.
work in the franchise. My husband and
Oh,
I
okay.
are a
Mhm,
drone company, for instance, right?
mhm.
Phoenix Drone Pros is a drone company. It's designed for the buyer, the franchisee, to work
Mhm.
in the business. Now,
Okay.
if you don't want to work in the business, you might
Mhm.
want to buy a trash hauling company where you say, I want to own a franchise, but I want to
Mhm.
employ employees and I don't want to
Oh,
work
okay.
directly in the business. Like, I don't want to be
Mhm.
in it. So, a trash hauling company doesn't require a specific individual with a specific skill to do
Mhm.
that job, like flying a drone. You have to
Right.
be certified, you have to have a license because
Yeah.
that's part of the process of opening up the business.
Sure.
And you have to be taught how to fly it
Mhm.
specifically to take certain videos, certain photos, right?
Right.
That's a skill set.
Mhm.
So if you're hauling trash, you follow this process to haul the
Mhm.
trash. You could hire
Right.
anyone to do that job.
Exactly.
Or if you're
Okay.
spraying, hospitals or hotels, or
Mhm.
you're providing trash, to where you're maintaining a hospital or something. Those are
Okay, like
franchises
biotrash.
that do with
Yeah.
that. You could hire for that. So
Mhm.
same with running like a Chick-fil-A, right? You can staff for that. And
Right.
you can be in that business from a distance, running that
Mhm.
business. You don't have to physically
Be there.
necessarily be in it every day. So I think there is a big difference. Here's the other
Mhm.
thing. If you're running a gymnastic space for children, yet you
Mhm.
have zero experience in anything, you need to be able to hire a lot of staff that has a
Yeah.
background in gymnastics to be able, you
Mhm.
can't teach a child how to do an aerial if no one on your staff's ever done any gymnastics before. So
Exactly.
I would say there are specific skills that are required.
Mhm.
A hair cutting place, maybe a yoga place, or
Mhm.
a blowout bar. A lot of
Mhm.
those are franchises, lashes,
Sure.
right? You have to have
Now.
a
Woo.
license
Yeah.
to do those lashes. So
Exactly.
there are some requirements, but here's the beautiful part. You can buy a franchise for
Mhm.
as low as like $10,000 up
Mhm.
to, $1.5 million or $2
Right.
million when
Right.
you're, talking about the investment that it would cost,
Mhm.
total investment all in to buy something like a Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah. But real
Yeah,
quick,
go ahead.
Colleen, let me ask you. So, you're talking about there are specific skill sets that you need. There's definitely a cost associated with that. What kind of person would be a really good franchisee?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
do I need to have gone to Harvard to get my MBA? Do I need to be, the stone cold go getter? Do I need what kind of person would be looking to become a franchisee?
I think the best individual to be a franchisee, and I can sniff these out. I'm telling you,
Mm,
I've been in the industry long enough in all my years to see it. They're the person that is interested in the brand because they
mhm.
love the brand. They want to support the brand, and they're looking to utilize that as an opportunity to grow their own wealth, to
I
bring in
like
their
it.
own income for their family, but
Mhm.
they're a team player.
They are a team player, so
The
that's
lone
huge.
wolf Yeah, the lone wolf that's out there and they're like, and I've watched them,
Mm-hmm.
they will immediately already in what I would call disclosure. There's a
Mm-hmm.
process you go through when you buy a franchise where the franchisor discloses everything
Mm-hmm.
about the business at a certain point in that kind
Okay.
of courting
Sure.
process of you buying the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
When you can tell by the questions that the prospective franchisee asks if they're going to be a problem or not,
Mm.
based on them
Ooh.
wanting to change. Well, can I
Mm-hmm.
change this? Well, can I do this? Can I do that? They're already thinking of all the ways that they
Yeah.
think in their brain that they're just meeting this brand, that they can make it better. But yet
Mm-hmm.
you've been nurturing this brand for I don't know how many years,
Right.
and other franchisees are running, supporting this brand and are out there
Mm-hmm.
now making, millions of dollars
Sure.
off of the same brand.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to change it. So immediately I would
Yeah.
say, if you're looking to change it, then you might want to
Mm-hmm.
go start your own business, because that's what an entrepreneur is. They
Right.
have all these ideas and they want to create it from scratch. So go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and go create it from
And do
scratch. And
that.
that's what I would tell somebody. Like, I don't
Right.
think this is the right business for you. I think you should
Mm-hmm.
go start your own brand,
Yeah.
because we've already tested all that and we already know
We've
that
already
doesn't
fixed
work.
it. Yeah.
This doesn't work. So
Yeah.
what works is what we're doing, and we've tested it, but yet they come in and they think they can make it all
Way
different.
better. And
Yeah.
that being said, so Colleen, how old is there an age limit to becoming a franchisor or franchisee? And the reason I ask is because, yeah,
No.
there's a cost associated. So if you have a 16-year-old who comes in with $15,000 from babysitting and car washing money, are they able to become a franchisee?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you probably technically need to be 18 unless your
Mm-hmm.
parents are signing it for you. I have
Mm-hmm.
worked with a very young franchisee in the past, but
Really?
but there are car detailing franchises.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's say
Well.
that you're 16 and your parents buy this for you. Their name is
Mm-hmm.
on the franchise, but you're the main worker in the business
Yeah.
and you love it, then yes,
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes. But I worked with a very, very, very young franchisee. She was in
Mm-hmm.
her early 20s, the youngest
Mm-hmm.
I had worked, and her parents,
Wow.
and it was in Calabasas, California. Britney Spears brought her children to this business. So to
Right.
kind of give you an idea of the
Mm-hmm.
area, her parents had bought it for her, and she became a brilliant owner.
Wow,
She
that's
became a
awesome.
brilliant franchisee because she wanted to learn, and I'm glad her parents bought her the business and let
Mhm.
her run it. She worked with all of us to be trained, to learn everything, and I think it was one
Wow.
of the best things they did. Instead of just kinda handing her everything,
Yeah,
she had to go through all the
she
training
had to
and
go
learn it
through it.
all and hire all the staff and run the business, and she actually became one of the best business owners that was in
Wow,
the business that I was in before. So
that's so cool.
there are franchises for everyone, and you can be
Mhm.
80 and buy a franchise.
Right.
There's many franchises out there that are hands-on, and many franchises out there that are, I would call, what we would call an absentee owner business,
Mhm.
that you can own multiples.
Okay.
Taco Bell's is a great example. I've known people
Sure.
own hundreds of Taco Bells. They're
Wow.
not
Mhm.
working in all of them,
Of course
but they
not.
know exactly how to hire staff, and they have
Yeah.
managers and operations managers. They handle all of those different stores. So
Mhm.
you can absolutely own one and be a very happy business owner for the rest of your life with one franchise,
Right.
or you can own multiples of them once you kind of get
Mhm.
bit by the bug.
And that's what I've heard, that it can
Yeah,
be sort of a bug. We have some folks out here. Whataburger is huge where we are. And
yeah,
there is one lady that I know, she has 4. But
yep,
then you have other people who have, you know, 5 or 6.
yep.
And because it is, they believe in the brand, they love what it does, blah, 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 all the things. And this is what their love is. So, in all your years of being in the franchise industry, because it is a whole industry,
Yeah.
from whenever franchising started, when Colonel Sanders decided I can make chicken better type deal, to Ed Koch and everybody else deciding, I mean, I can do McDonald's type deal. It's been out there forever. And do you see franchising still being a viable means of building wealth for a
Oh,
family or an
yes.
individual?
Hands down, absolutely. To me, the way I describe it to someone, it's one of the safest ways to start up a business
Oh,
because you're
interesting.
coming into a proven brand already.
Mm-hmm.
There is no safety in starting a business from scratch. There's no guarantee, there's no
None.
certainty, there's no safety, there's nothing. When you
Mm-hmm.
are buying a franchise, you're walking into an already proven model that people are successfully running them around the country.
Right.
So if you follow the recipe, you will be just as successful, if not more successful, than
Mm-hmm.
the other businesses are. And I think that's the safety in it for
Mm-hmm.
me that
Yeah.
many franchisees get into it because they're really not looking to try and come up with, they
Yeah.
want to own
The
a
next
business, or
wheel.
they have a passion for that thing, right? That
Mm-hmm.
brand.
Right.
They aren't a marketing expert. They aren't a business planning expert. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to put together a pro forma. They have no
Wow.
idea how to go get an SBA loan. And what the
Sure.
franchise does is they line up all of those people for you and say,
Mm-hmm.
if you
There
need
you
to get a
go.
loan, here are the couple companies we recommend. If you
Wow.
want to go do this, here are the people we recommend. Here are
Mm-hmm.
the 5 vendors that can do all the flooring and all the,
Mm-hmm.
everything you need in your facility if you need a facility. So
Yeah.
I
That's
love it
cool.
because the franchisor is really going to give you all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you just need to be trained and
Yeah.
learn how to sell, promote,
Mm-hmm.
grow that brand.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking right now, the biggest trend that I'm seeing, at least where I live, are gyms. There is a
Mhm.
gym on every corner and they're different.
Yeah.
And I'm understanding these gyms are franchises. They are getting them lined up all over the country, in some cases, all over the world. So, Colleen, if somebody is watching this and says, I've been interested in franchising, what 3 quick tips could you tell them to kind of get them started off the fence and on the ground running? What would you tell them?
I would say to them, ask yourself this question. Can you be a team player? And do you know what your why is? I have a franchise consultant that I work with, and I'll share her name and I'll give
Mhm.
that information to you so we can share it as well. And
Great.
her services are free. So you go to her and she's going to help align you up with the best franchise that fits your personality the best. But you
Wow.
have to know these 2 things right away. What is your why? Why do you want to do this? Why
Hmm.
do you want to own a franchise versus starting your own business? So you got to know that first. And the second thing is, are you a team player?
Hmm.
Why franchise versus starting your own business? What are your reasons
Right.
behind that? I could sit and give you 20 reasons why I think franchising is one of the smartest things. And I've done
Sure.
both. Bought
Hmm.
existing businesses, have been in franchising and started my own business. And
Hmm.
still, franchising is the easiest and
Really?
fastest and quickest way to earn
Hmm.
cash. It really is to earn money.
Wow.
So
Man.
yeah, I would say you've got to ask yourself those questions
Hmm.
and realize that the investment that you're putting into this is already a kind of in a box business. That's what you're buying,
Yeah.
and in
Hmm.
the box business and support, not just the
I like
business,
that.
all the support, all the marketing, all of the national coverage, all the everything that goes with that. It
Hmm.
would take you years to get that on your own, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so much more money than what you would pay to invest in a franchise.
The truth. Every entrepreneur right now is going, I know, the amount of money that we spent on making the mistakes would
True.
probably have been better spent on buying an actual franchise. Who knew? So you've been in the franchise industry for 20 years, you and your husband and all the kids, the whole nine. You got these things. What about I have a franchise, but I'm done with it? What do you
Well,
do? Is there a way to get rid of, for the lack of a
yeah.
better term, of the franchise that you have? What is that like?
It is not a timeshare. Yes, you can absolutely get
I love
unlike a
it.
timeshare. Yes. So franchising, that's the easy part
Hmm.
because there's other owners right now, probably. And here's the thing that's awesome.
Wow.
From the
Hmm.
consumer standpoint, we don't
Hmm.
even know which businesses are franchises and which aren't. That's the beautiful part of the brand.
Huh.
I
That's
bet
good.
if you walked into every business you walked in, you could not identify this is a franchise versus this is not a franchise. Most people
Wow.
thought Starbucks was a franchise brand.
Yeah,
It's not. They're
I
all
did.
corporate owned stores.
Mhm,
So most of the time it's naked. I'm sorry, it's not naked to the
mhm,
customer's eye. They don't
mhm.
know if you're a franchise or not. That's
Right.
why it's so important to be exactly like the brand everywhere
So
else. It's got to
good.
be supported.
Yeah.
Um, And so going back to your question when you were talking about having all of the franchises everywhere, were you
Hmm.
asking the question about someone starting, selling
Selling it.
selling the
I'm
franchise?
done with it now.
There are
Yeah.
probably other franchisees right now in that same brand that
Hmm.
are loving what they do and would be willing to purchase and pick up that franchise.
Right.
So generally when you sell,
Huh.
you let the franchisor know that you're willing
Hmm.
to want to sell that business. They're going to help you get connected with a broker.
Oh,
They're going to
wow.
guide you through the entire resale process of
Hmm.
what to tell your staff, what not to tell your staff, when to tell your staff,
Yeah.
how to bring on and have other prospects interested, have them, research the business without being in the business where the other
Hmm.
staff members know. So there's
Right.
a lot that they can do to guide you through that and help you
Hmm.
through a very, very successful resale.
See, and that's good to know, because I think for me, I'm not a franchisor. It's nothing I've ever looked at, but I've been a part of them because I was in the hospitality industry for a lot of years. And people don't realize there are a lot of hotels that are actually franchised.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that you mentioned, and I really like that. So now the challenge is accepted. You will not know what business is and what
Mm-mm.
business is not a franchise, especially if it's done well. Would that be fair to say?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Because if it's done badly, you either think something's wrong with the brand or something's wrong
Mhm.
with that thing. But I'm just curious. I'm thinking the research, because I'm thinking of like the dollar stores, Dollar Trees, some hotels, shoe stores that are or may not be. Because I don't know if my viewers know, I didn't know that Starbucks was not a franchise. It's corporate owned. I did not
Mhm.
know that. See?
Yep.
Who says that you can't learn stuff from the internet, doggone it? You're welcome.
I just think franchising is brilliant. I honestly
Hmm.
do because you have this amazing business, like my husband's business,
Hmm.
Phoenix Drone Pros. It's 10 years old next year. He has
Hmm.
this amazing business that creates and generates, plenty of income for him as an
Sure.
individual with very small overhead,
Hmm.
very little expenses, right?
Right.
And there are drone pilots everywhere that just love to fly a drone. The guy turned a hobby into a business, right?
Sure. Love it.
So he has very specific ways that he markets, very specific ways that we get our customers, very,
Hmm.
patented, trademarked, all these things.
Yeah.
So when other individuals come to us and said, "Hey, will you teach me?" They would call him, "Will you teach me how to run a drone business?" We
Hmm.
thought about doing a weekend kind of business in a box where we would teach them how to
Right.
run a business. And then I thought, wait a minute, we're going to teach them all of our proprietary information,
Right.
all of the things that we do. So they all become our competitors
Hmm.
immediately. And why would we do that? Why wouldn't we want to
Yeah.
just take our brand,
Franchise.
teach them everything we know, and let them build that wealth for their family? Now,
Right.
that individual can leave corporate America, make more
Hmm.
money than he was making in corporate America, and have the flexibility to put a car seat in his truck and take his
Yeah.
kids with him because he's not meeting
Love
up
it.
with any customers.
Yeah.
And I thought the flexibility, the freedom, the amount of money
Mm.
that they can make is going to super exceed what they were making in corporate America. They don't have to sit through any of those meetings anymore. They're not going to have
Yeah.
to travel and be away from their family anymore. And to me,
Hmm.
it just seemed like the perfect way for us
Yeah.
to provide that opportunity for
Hmm.
individuals that are really looking to make their own way and
Hmm.
make enough money and do what they love.
And do the thing you love. Live the
Yeah.
life
And
you want to live.
it's
Because I know you and
exactly.
I talked earlier, you and your husband are building a
Yeah.
really nice place. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we bought 5 acres up in Happy Jack,
Mm.
Arizona, which is just a little over 2 hours north
Mhm.
from in town here. So you can imagine it's really hot in Arizona right now and in the
Mhm.
summers, but you
Yeah,
go up in the mountains and it's way cooler and the evenings are
sure.
really beautiful. So, yeah, we're building a really large cabin up there we have 7 kids, like I said, and 13 grandkids. So
Exactly.
it's got to have at least 7 bedrooms, probably 8 bedrooms,
Hmm.
because we need a master suite as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna host retreats up there because I do them now and rent
Hmm.
Airbnbs, and I know there's a
Wow.
lot of women locally that will want to utilize that space, and it's going to be built really great for big,
Yeah.
large families like ours,
Hmm.
to be able to use that space. But we just
I think that's
wanted
awesome.
5 acres up in the mountains where we can build more memories
Yeah, I
to
love it.
last a lifetime. So,
And that it sounds like what franchising can and will do for you if you do it right. So Colleen, with all this stuff that you got going on, my friend, if somebody wanted to reach out to you or connect with you or finish this conversation, where's the best place for them to find you?
I'm gonna say just Google my name. I'm gonna start with that because if you Google my name, you're gonna see all my body of work out there. It's Colleen
Mm,
Biggs, 2 L's, 2 E's, just like Ricky is 2 K's.
two eyes, yeah.
And 2 G's. I say 2 L's, 2 E's, and 2 G's. So put that together. But you can go to ColleenBiggs.net. You're going to learn everything about me there. And if you're interested in what we talked about today in franchising, two things. Carrie Ann Golliver, I'm going to give the information to Ricky Smith so she has it. She's a franchise
Perfect.
consultant. You can work with her for free. She can connect you with some amazing franchises. And you're listening to this and you're like, wait a minute, I'm really interested in this drone company. All you
Yeah.
need to do is go to Phoenix Drones, Phoenix Drones, PhoenixDronePros.com, and then just click on franchise opportunity. And then it's all right there.
All right. You guys don't worry. There's a lot of information there. And if you didn't get it, it's all going to be in the description below. And we want to make sure that you're able to reach out. And don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Colleen, my friend, before I let you go, we got to play a game.
Let's play.
All right. So this game is super simple. It's literally called What's Your Favorite? I'm just going to ask you a series of questions and you let me know what you like. You ready to play, my friend?
Let's go. I love games.
Let's do this. All right, Colleen, what is your favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Ooh, Friday. I like it. Are you a party girl?
No, I just,
I have no idea where to go from that.
I'm not a party girl. I love Fridays because it's my self-care day. So I do things like
Ah,
cold plunges or infrared saunas, or it's like
okay.
it's my day.
It's
It's
me, me,
my
me
day.
day.
Me day.
I love it.
Yeah.
What is your favorite genre of music?
Oh, I really love pop music. I'm
Hmm.
just not really into the current pop music. So maybe I'm more of like an 80s
That's
soft.
me. I am an 80s girl. I love 80s music,
I
all of
think
it.
I'm an 80s because I do like I just I'm not a genre. I'm more of a specific artist, I
Okay,
guess
so
that
who's
is.
your favorite artist?
Well, I love Carrie Underwood.
Okay, you cannot go wrong with that. One of
Right.
the original American Idols. Can you believe that?
I know.
So funny. All
Well,
right.
Kelly Clarkson was the
She
original.
was the original. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
watching that.
I voted
Yeah.
for her. Remember
Did
we had to pay to vote on the phone?
you?
Yeah.
Who knew? See, and
Oh
I've
my
moved
God.
on. Now I
Like
watch The
dial
Voice.
up a phone. Yeah, all the stuff. Yeah.
Dial up. I love
Oh,
it.
we're so old.
Yeah, I know, but we look amazing, whatever. What is your favorite downtime activity?
Oh, reading. And I never used to like reading. I was like, who
Really?
reads? Nerds read. And I love reading.
Yeah, I do
Love
too.
it.
It's actually my favorite thing.
I
I
just
appreciate
grew
that.
into it. Yeah,
That is,
I
yeah,
agree.
and you do. It's like liver, what
Yeah.
I never ever liked,
But I
but
do not like reading fiction books. I'm not about fantasies and going off and being
okay.
in some other story. I
Mhm.
love anything that builds my knowledge, education. I just love to dig and read and learn and learn and learn. So I'm a
Wow.
reader because I love to learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. That is good stuff. Y'all take a note. Leaders are readers. Now you know. And finally, my friend, finish this sentence. I have a ridiculous number of
Children.
you win. You're right.
Offspring. I should just said
I have a
offspring. Oh my
ridiculous
God.
number of offspring. Oh
People
my
look at me with
God.
these eyes. They're like, how many kids and grandkids do you have? Because then you start adding up all the in-laws and stuff.
Yeah.
My house gathering is 30 people, just my kids and
The
my
immediate
grandkids.
family.
And
Oh my God.
I always